Bum 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 bum. The Peter Fox Show. Bum 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 bum. All right. This week, November 3rd, will mark year 336 on the Polonium 210 calendar. Here's how it works. Polonium 210 has a half-life of 138.376 days. And Mary Curie discovered polonium 210 on July 18, 1898. And so I like to think of every half-life of polonium 210 starting from when she discovered it as 1 year. That way I get to make goals more frequently. So we celebrate New Year's Day 336 on November 3rd, 2025. And unfortunately, I'm recording this on November 2nd. I had another death of somebody close to me, a classmate, when I was working on my PhD. When I was working on my PhD, this was 2010, I had just gotten taken advantage of by a girl, and I almost dropped out of school. This was summer 2010. We broke up. And I was scared to death, not only from almost dropping out of school, but I didn't know life existed without a girl, especially as a PhD candidate. And then I went to a coin show by myself without a girl, and I had the best time of my life. And then I discovered that there were so many disadvantages of being single. You got to understand, some of my classmates were married, and they had two sets of hands to take care of stuff, right? Especially as a PhD candidate, you don't have all the money for all the conveniences in life, right? So, for example, today, if push comes to shove, I can order delivery. I could have some kinds of services. I didn't have. One, those things were not nearly as popular 15 years ago, and two, I couldn't afford them. And if it weren't for that, I might not have ever started dating again, by the way. I really enjoyed that. A lot of people don't seem to recognize this. If it weren't for the disadvantages of being single, I actually do enjoy it. Even to this day. The other day I was thinking about, right now the government is shut down, and I mentioned in a couple of videos why I love going to the national parks when the government is shut down. I cannot stomach the idea of taking a girl there with me, though, but going there alone has a major disadvantage. Go watch my last couple of videos, and I'm torn. I wish it wasn't a trade-off. I wish it was just, do I want to enjoy it by myself or do I want to enjoy it with a girl? Unfortunately, there's a significant trade-off. I hate to go into the details here because this video is about something else. 2010, fall of 2010, I started dating again. At the time, dating apps were not nearly as big as they are today. I mean, they were taking off, but they weren't as big as they are today. And so when I used one, I think I was using OkCupid, both myself and a classmate of mine matched with the same girl, and it became a source of tension. We were still classmates at this point. We were taking a class on connectivity, the networking, computer science class. And unfortunately, our connectivity professor was going through her own set of crises. Long story short, the whole class got bad grades that semester. I think I ended up with a D, and a bunch of my classmates ended up with C's, D's, and F's, basically. And so we were all going through a lot. And then he ended up with major drama with that girl. At the time, I thought it was karma, but we've since made up our differences. He ended up with major drama with the girl involving having the police called and restraining orders and all that fun stuff. And I don't know if that's what contributed to him, but unfortunately, he passed away this past week, and presumably of drug-related problems, because we did talk about him using stuff at one point. And I remember early today when I heard about it, I thought to myself, "That's it. I need to find out how to put together a medical directive because I have addictive personality myself. I often wonder what would happen if I got myself incapacitated and needed, and somebody gave me painkillers against my will during the pandemic. Obviously, they were pushing this other substance that I don't want to get. And I often worry that, fortunately, during the pandemic, we didn't have to drive. My big concern is getting into a car accident and then being given all this shit against my will. Right. So at the time, I've been wanting to put together this directive. I did a quick Google search today and discovered that you can put it somewhere in the cloud, and then you can carry a card in your wallet saying, hey, my directive is here. I'm probably going to start with a very basic one. Just don't give me blah, 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 blah. Put it in the cloud and carry that card on me. And then that's something I could probably put together in a half hour or so. And then I can work on something a little bit more complex. But in my friend's memory, I'm going to do that tomorrow morning, first thing. And I've been putting it off for a long time, and I've been taking a huge gamble. I've lost a lot of friends to drug overdoses, unfortunately. So, happy New Curry Year 336. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Fox Show. Bum 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 bum.